Hey, I'm Priya Samarbasada, and before starting, let me just say this. Thank you for watching this video. The fact that you're actually spending your time watching this YouTube video means a lot to me. I know professors at universities happen to be real busy people, especially people who work at the Illinois University. I mean, you guys must be super busy, so yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart. But let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I'm actually recording this video. Well, obviously, like I said in my email, I have a bachelor's degree in software engineering. And before getting a bachelor's degree in software engineering, I was studying electrical engineering. I got an associate's degree in electrical engineering, but I didn't like it, so that was the reason why. Because I actually happened to be interested in computers, I switched to computers, and I absolutely loved it. Not every area, but I was interested in programming, and that was enough motivation for me to keep going on, and I got a bachelor's degree in software engineering, and like ever since entering, and pursuing a degree in software engineering, I always found myself fantasizing about building my own programming language, and well, obviously I had to be able to design a language and then be able to implement it. And I did a little research about the whole process and found out that, okay, as far as the implementation part is concerned, I either have to compile my language or interpret it. So I had to learn about both stuff. And during the last year of my software engineering degree, I actually had a course called Design and Implementation of Programming Languages, and I really liked that course. It motivated me a great deal. The fact that my professor really liked me, she was always like, "Priya, you're really talented as far as, programming languages are concerned, and you know a lot of stuff, and like, how do you know all this stuff? Because apparently your fellow classmates know nothing about this subject, and they don't even happen to be interested in this subject. How come you actually happen to know a lot of stuff and the answers to a lot of the questions?" And I just laughed whenever she said so. I just felt like, hey, I'm an enthusiast as far as programming languages are concerned, because oftentimes a lot of my, fellow, classmates, or even, some programmers, some professional programmers who knew me would say, like, hey, instead of, trying to figure out how compilers and interpreters are, built, learn something useful. Like, I don't know, you might as well, you're better off pursuing something like web development. Like, I actually had a friend who specialized in building web pages using ASP.NET, MVC, and later ASP, using a later version, the more recent version, ASP.NET Core, and he said, there's no future in learning about compilers. I definitely disagree with him. For starters, I think learning about compilers and interpreters is fun. That's my number one motivation. And also, well, the thing about software engineering and the whole computer science in general is that you learn something, you just, gather skills in a certain area. You're going to be able to use it in another area. I mean, it's like you're going to be able to transfer the stuff you've learned in one area and apply it in a totally different area. Just like, programming languages, like you learn C++, you're instantaneously going to be able to transfer a great portion of what you've learned to Java and C# and PHP and stuff like that, yeah? But it's not only limited to programming languages, and this is something I actually really sensed while working with a book called Elements of Computer Systems or something like that. It's a famous course. Some people know it by the name Nanotechnology. I haven't covered all of the book, but it's a beautiful book. I mean, it's not theory intensive, but it's more of a practical book, but it's a beautiful book. And it made me really understand the fact that all of the areas in computer science, you could enjoy all of it, the whole computer science, without, becoming a complete, master of each area, because that's impossible, yeah? But you can, build the hardware of a computer from scratch. Well, not exactly from scratch, but, starting from a NAND gate and you can build, the different gates and the different, pieces of, architecture you're going to be needing for the ALU and later on the control unit and stuff like that. And you can actually go as far as, building the assembler, afterwards the compiler and the OS. And you don't need to do it at a great level. I mean, the computer you actually end up building isn't like an advanced level computer. It's not even, as powerful as a 286 computer. Or, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I actually had a 486 computer. I mean, it's going to be nothing compared to that, but it's not about that. It's about learning and enjoying the field of computer science. And I haven't covered the whole book, the book in its entirety, but I've, really enjoyed it. I mean, it really gave me that beautiful picture of handling, enjoying computer science instead of, specializing in just one minute area and forgetting about the rest. Well, it gave me the, the sense of enjoying the big picture. But obviously, it's not possible to, learn everything in a given field. So let me talk about more about compilers and what I want to do concerning compilers. Well, obviously, considering that I only have a bachelor's degree in software engineering, I don't know that much about compilers, and I even didn't have a course in compilers during my undergraduate degree. Yeah, during my course, undergraduate courses. Yeah. The thing is, I really happen to be interested in, and this is what I did. I searched a lot of books, and I started reading one book. Really didn't understand that much, I just read a couple of pages. So I thought, I'll go to another book. Again, I understood some stuff. After a couple of books, I started to understand the phases involved in, building a compiler, and some time ago, I remembered about this book called The Dragon Book. People said it's a really hard book, and, it will blow your mind. And I just tried it because, the other books, they didn't really make that much sense. And I tried it, and I was like, why didn't I start with this book? It would have been the perfect starting point for me. Because as it turns out, theory-intensive books are actually better for me. I actually have to understand the intellectual parts in order to be able to better grasp the practical parts. A lot of the books out there, they don't really focus on theory. They just, write code and, they just deal with the practical elements of building compilers, and that didn't really suit me because I didn't have really that much of the basic knowledge in compilers. I knew nothing about them, so I really enjoyed, reading the Dragon Book. I'm actually doing the first couple of chapters, so it hasn't been that. I haven't really spent that much time reading that book, and it sure happens to be quite a handful. Well, for starters, it's like 1,000 pages, and well, I'm definitely gonna have a long way ahead of myself, and alongside that, but I'm actually reading a certain book related to automata theory. I really don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know what the pronunciation happens to be, but it's related to automatons and computer science. And yeah, it's actually a good book because it actually gives me a good understanding of grammars and regular languages, and grammars like context-free grammars and stuff like that, which is essential in order to be able to do parsing. Yeah, so I'm enjoying reading that book. As far as the reason, let me get to the reason why I'm actually shooting this video. I've studied software engineering in Iran in a university which doesn't happen to be a highly ranked university. So, and I really happen to be interested in pursuing research concerning compilers. But the thing is, considering that I live in Iran and the economy is horrible, the better route would be for me to actually, go to another country like Canada or a European country and get a master's in software engineering. The problem I actually faced is that usually the professors don't specialize in, compiler-related studies. There are, a lot of people who actually specialize in, artificial intelligence, some even, specifically specialize in machine learning and, big data, stuff like that. I do respect those areas, but I would rather study, compilers. I mean, it's just me. I just like the subject, even though I don't know that much about it. I just happen to be drawn towards it. And I really wanted to know if you guys think I actually stand a chance at applying to the University of Illinois, because I don't know. Well, the thing is, if you ask as far as, usually programs want, people who are hardworking and really prideful. I would never suggest, but I'm a hardworking person and I'm a genius and stuff like that. But if you ask my fellow classmates and also some of my professors, they would definitely suggest that Priyasama Balsada is really a talented person and also a hardworking person. So ask them. As far as I'm concerned, no, I'm not a genius. And the reason for that is I've got nothing to show for it. Yeah, the reason why people consider Einstein a genius is because he has stuff to show for it. He actually got a Nobel Prize in physics, and he also came up with the theory of relativity. Yeah, both the special relativity and the general one. Yeah, so he's got work to show for it, but I don't really have that much to show for it. Which is one of my concerns, and also applying to the University of Illinois, just applying to that program, it was around $70, and it's not that much of a big, fee, but to someone like me who is living in Iran, and the economy happens to be horrible, it's a big deal. So if I don't stand a chance, why bother, apply to the program? That's the bottom line. I just wanted to the reason why I'm actually shooting this video is to get help. Is it possible for someone to finally be able to pursue a graduate course in doing research in compilers? Like, ideally, a PhD course. Like, I would enter a PhD course, instead of doing a master's course. So, I just wanted to know you guys, and one other thing actually occurred to me. Well, it's not something I actually have proof for, but I did, when I was at high school, I did compete in Iran's National Physics Olympiad, because I really happened to be interested in physics when I was at high school, and all the time I actually read university references. Like, the very first one I read was a book written by David Holiday and Robert Resnick, something like that. I'm not sure if that was his family name, but David Holiday was definitely one of the authors, and I really loved that book. It certainly helped me compete in Iran's Physics Olympiad. It has 3 rounds. I was only capable of going as far as round 2. Yeah, well, maybe that actually counts for something. Yeah, I don't know. But overall, thank you for watching this video, and I would like to actually, stay in touch and, I don't know, send more emails to you guys if, there happens to be anything else you want to know about me. And if you could actually help me, I don't know, maybe you actually have, of other programs or other professors at other universities who happen to be, who happen to specialize in research related to compilers. If that happens to be the case, by all means, just inform me about it. It will mean a lot to me. And, well, there's nothing else to say. I know this video has taken a long time. It's like, it never ends, and it's so, but thank you again, for watching the video. It means a lot to me, and there's nothing else for me to say, so bye-bye.